All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Up and In Show. Got a little different view today. I'm on the couch by myself, except Lila's here with me. I don't know if she's in the shot or not. Is she in the shot, Joe?
Yeah, she's in there.
She's
She's,
in there a
she's a
little
little
bit.
hidden behind the St. Rock, but
I got my
she's
guy
in there.
Joe Mitchell with me, though. And as Joe just mentioned, we are sponsored by St. Rock Vodka. So if you guys aren't aware, I don't know why, but St. Rock Vodka is the official vodka of the Bayou Traditions Collective, which means that you can drink some vodka and you can support your LSU Tigers because every bottle sold, a portion goes back into the collective, which is then used for NIL money. So we can go get the best recruits and keep winning national championships and all that good stuff. So you like the Tigers, the bottle is really cool. It's really well done. It's high quality glass too. Cool art on it, and it's a great company too. 7-3 Distilling out of New Orleans. Good stuff overall. But yeah, no guests today, Joe. It's just gonna be you and me. We're gonna shoot the shit a little bit.
Yep.
Catch up. I like that episode though that we did a couple months back where we were, talking about national championship LSU.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the Tiger Girls won another national championship, and I just had them on the Purple Couch recently. So if you guys are listeners, if you guys are subscribed or liked the stuff, you would have seen that this week. But just good stuff overall. LSU, we just went to the LSU Women's game. That place was popping last night. Crazy. Tough loss, but
That was definitely the craziest women's basketball game I've been to, but I think the only one that even comes close and doesn't top it was the men's game against Tennessee 4 years ago.
4 years ago?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago.
I went to one. I was telling Mya yesterday in the car on the way home. I went to one Kentucky, maybe 2012 when was Ben Simmons here? 13, something like that era.
Somewhere in there.
Karl
yeah.
Anthony Towns, I think, was like their main guy that was the number one overall pick or whatever for him. So yeah, it was that was close to it, but I still don't think it was that energy. I think the whiteout and all that stuff has something to do with it too. But that place was rocking. I mean, it was rocking 2 hours before the game too. That was really cool. Like walking up there, watching game day there.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah. Tough loss though. I mean, in the beginning, that first half was pretty impressive too. That was a lot of fun. I was saying, like, the opening drives, Carolina got the tip. They come down, try to pass it to their big girl. Angel stops it. The whole place erupts. I was like, this is going to be amazing. So,
Yeah.
it really is a special time right now at LSU. So, we're going to catch up a little bit on LSU sports, some of the good stuff that's going on. Jaden Daniels won a Heisman. So, I would love to hear your take on him and just catch up on that a little bit, document some stuff about LSU having another Heisman winner. That's really cool. We got some stuff coming up with LSU baseball defending their national championship. Culture Media has been covering some of that stuff, so we can go over some of David Fultz's articles and some of that great light that he's been shedding on some of the recruiting and things like that. We can talk about that. The distillery trip, that was a lot of fun too. We can talk about St. Rock a little bit, and we're going to show some love to Mya and her hoodie and stuff. So, but let's talk about Jaden real quick, and I want to hear your take. Overall, his season, again, I don't know college football like you do, historically, where does this stand? Because I know there was a lot of talks that it compared to Joe Burrow, right? And he was one of the best college campaigns that we've ever seen. So Jaden Daniels, talk to me a little bit about it.
Yeah, I don't think Joe Burrow is a really good comparison because they did it very differently.
Gotcha.
Like their statistics are pretty close.
Yeah.
But Joe threw the vast majority of his touchdowns. Like Jaden was a mix of passing and running, and he was really a dual threat kind of guy. And Joe gave you that a little bit, but not to the same extent. So I don't think it's a fair comparison because I think if you have to go what for what, you'd probably take Joe.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a fair comparison to Jaden.
No, that makes sense.
But I also think, I think if you took Jaden Daniels' stats over not only this year's class, but the last 12 Heismans, they're better.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that. So I was just like, historically, one of the better campaigns we've seen statistically, right? Obviously, 3 losses is going to put a little damper on it, right? They finished with 3 losses.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still think statistically awesome. And he's an unbelievable kid. Just seeing him around campus, the presence and stuff. Again, we're recording this stuff, guys. I know this is old news and things we talk about, but this is a really cool, podcast for me and some of the things we do here. So just documenting some of the stuff that's historically happening here at LSU is going to be really cool. So Joe runs a podcast that's all around college football, really in-depth analysis twice a week called Second Runoff. Does an incredible job Wednesday and Sunday nights live. So that's why I wanted to ask him and just get his take kind of on Jaden Daniels and talk about that a little bit and show him some love for that. So appreciate that, Joe, because that wasn't on the list. So I just threw that at you, threw it in the fire. You're probably like, what the fuck, dude? We didn't.
No. Also, LSU has 3 guys projected to go into the first round of the NFL draft right now.
That's pretty badass. Brian Thomas is the third one, right? Because it's him, Malik, and
Brian Thomas.
BT.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And
all top 15, right? Like,
yes.
or no, wait, you said top 10?
No, they're all top 15. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought like Brian.
The
was,
last
like,
mock
14
draft
or
I
something.
saw was Brian Thomas at 14.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's crazy to think about. And God bless. Can you imagine if Jaden goes number 1 overall and I can cash a nice $2,000 bet?
That would be huge.
nice. That would just be a cool thing for me. I was gonna say kiss on the, but we're not gonna say that. We'll leave that out.
I don't know if you saw this, but PFF, Pro Football Focus, like grades players throughout the course of a season and everything. And Malik's Pro Football Focus rating was higher than both Jamar and Jets when they're at LSU.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy company to be in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to get to the league and be either of those guys. Hopefully he is, but I'm not making that prediction. But it might be a nice fantasy pickup.
That's pretty badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. How tall are all those guys? Like, how do they compare in height? I know Jamar's built a little different, like his legs are thicker and stuff, but
I could be wrong on this, but I think Malik's 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there. And I think Brian Thomas is pretty tall.
yeah, I think Brian Thomas is tall too. What about Jamar and Justin?
I think Brian's the tall. I think BT's the tallest out of all of them.
Yeah, receivers amaze me, their frames, like those 6'3" guys that are wiry, tall, long, like that can still run and jump like that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so Malik's 6 foot flat.
6 foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't remember him being like crazy tall when he did that autograph signing here.
Yeah, and Brian Thomas is 6'4".
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's talk a little bit about this distillery. So we mentioned St. Roch Vodka and 7-3 Distillery, which is out down in New Orleans. We went there maybe a month and a half ago, right?
Yeah.
We have a YouTube video up, right? So you guys can search that. Make sure if you guys want to check it out, it's really cool. They gave us a really in-depth tour. And really taught us a lot about bourbon, even though we're sponsored by vodka, but it was all about the distillery and the brand and the company and understanding where the DNA for this vodka came from, and the story behind it is just really cool, and the DNA for the company. So what do you think was I don't want to say, like, it's such a weird thing to say coolest thing, but what do you think is the most unique thing that you saw at the distillery when we went?
I'm a bourbon nerd, you know that.
Yeah,
I love bourbon. I drink the Bywater bourbon on our show.
Yeah. You finished it all. I remember. I'm just kidding.
No.
Mikey Matuk, I know. Shout out Mikey Matuk and his mic'd up. They just slugged our Bayou bourbon whiskey or bourbon.
Yeah. But no, to me, one of the coolest things was, and I don't know all the technical terms, obviously, for distilling. You lost me on that. But whenever we went in there and it was just the raw bourbon before it had been aged or anything like that, I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I thought one of the coolest things was understanding where like what makes bourbon, right? Like wasn't he say like it would come down the river and it would pick up some dirt and mud and like from the barrel, and that's how it really started like making barrel or something? I don't know. But the story of like why the water turns brown or the bourbon turns brown and makes it bourbon was really cool to me. Just like understanding little things like that. Just allows me to kind of understand a little bit about the business of the company or like the DNA of the company and stuff. And I don't know, the vodka is good too, so it's super smooth. But really cool company. The distilling was an interesting process. I kind of like knew a little bit about beer because I'd done a beer here in Baton Rouge before with a really cool company, and I understood that process. But this was different, and the detail that the distiller took. Remember just even the guy with the mustache in the beginning? He was so proud of that. That was awesome to me too. And like he took a lot of pride in all of that, which was really cool for me to see. One
of the craziest things to me, which I guess you can put it together if you're intuitive. I guess I'm not. But and again, bourbon is aged. You know it is. But you don't think about how much bourbon they're aging at one time in a warehouse. Yeah. Like the idea that they finish a product and then they put it in a barrel to be aged for 5 years before it can ever get sold. Like, right. Whew, I think about that from like a business standpoint too. Just like you start a business, you got to start in 5 years, like selling things. Like if you're gonna do bourbon, I'm sure they could sell other liquor in the meantime, but I mean, still, like that's just a weird process for that product. Yeah, and all your production funds, capital goes into that, and then you don't see a return on it for at least 5 years. That's crazy. That's wild. That's wild. All right, LSU baseball is about to kick off or start this year. Kick off. It just feels weird because that's a football term, but first pitch the 16th, I believe, right? Friday the 16th. So excited about that. I'm excited to see what pitchers they roll out there. They're going to have 12 left-handed pitchers this year, so that'll be really interesting. LSU has traditionally not had any left-handed pitching. Yeah. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see Tommy White, how he kind of comes and emerges as a leader this year. And there's going to be a lot of guys that have to step up and fill some roles. So
It'll be exciting. I know the box is going to be jumping, so.
Yeah.
You excited? Are you going to go to opening night?
Yeah,
we're doing stuff right
Yeah.
media-wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. I think Modesto reached out to do something too, so we got to. And I saw Ozzy Fernandez at the game last night, so we definitely got to do something with maybe Modesto or something. So if you guys are LSU baseball fans, I know this podcast is coming out later today, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So 2 weeks from now, 2 or 3 weeks from now, first pitch. Make sure you guys check out our social media. We're definitely going to be doing some sort of pop-up. Probably with Valley Vision. That's with Abby Alonso. Almost called her Abigail. I literally almost said Valley Vision with Abigail. Wow.
She'd be so mad.
I know. She probably heard that. Sorry, Abby. Yeah, Valley Vision with Abby Alonso, which is our LSU sports culture kind of show where she does some really cool stuff. So we'll probably be posted up somewhere around the baseball stadium doing some sort of preview live show. We'll probably have David Fols. If you guys don't know who David Fols is, he's a writer for us on our culture and media side of things. He does an incredible job with recruiting. He loves LSU baseball. This man bleeds the purple and gold. He always has some new fresh gear on for LSU representing the purple and gold and cards and culture media. But he does really a great job of getting to know the recruits, understanding who they are. He does some phone interviews with them. We have some content on our YouTube channel, but he really writes some really great articles, and it gives you some depth and some understanding about these new kids that are coming in as freshmen. You can kind of follow them in their senior year because he'll write about that too. So. And also the new freshman on campus, he did an incredible job breaking down this 23-24 team, and he gives all his predictions for every position and leaves nothing short. And so shout out David Foles because he's a stud and he does an absolute great job for us and loves some LSU baseball. So I'm excited to go out there with him, with you, Joe, with Abby, all that stuff. So if you guys follow us on social, make sure you guys look out where we're going to be because it'll be a nice day. It'll probably be sponsored by St. Rock, so there'll be some free vodka and tastings and drinks and stuff like that. So make sure you check out our social media and all that good stuff. What else we got? Let's see.
Well, before we move on from LSU baseball, I know it's early and predictions don't necessarily matter before games are played, especially not even before conference. But what are you expecting this year? You're coming off a national championship. It's gonna be repeating is really difficult.
Yeah.
But what are your expectations?
I think we're going to be deeper. I think we're going to be more solid as a well-rounded team where, not that we weren't well-rounded last year because many guys stepped up in the right situations and when they needed to, but I think you're just going to see a deeper team where there's more competition between positions and even pitching too. I think our weekend rotation is going to be a lot more solid than it was last year. I think we're going to have a lot of really good arms. And I'm excited to see Luke Coleman. I know David kind of predicted him maybe to be the Sunday guy this year in his article, but I'm anxious. He was the Friday guy for Alabama last year, had some really good numbers. He led the league in whip, which is, in David's article, he goes, not whatever the hell whip is, but whip is walks plus hits divided by innings pitched. So basically tells you how many base runners that guy allows per inning. Mm-hmm. And he allowed one basically each inning, which is, as a starting pitcher, that is ideal. You can deal with one guy. That's going to happen. That's law of averages, things like that. And if you got good stuff, you're able to pitch out of a single, a double, maybe a walk here and there, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see Luke Coleman, the transfer from Alabama. Gage Jump, I think he's the transfer from UCLA. I think he's a crazy athlete with an electric arm. So I'm excited to see him. I don't know, your guy coming off Tommy John, I don't love him being our Friday guy. So, just from depth and pitch counts and things like that. So that's why I think at the end of the year, we're going to see Luke Coleman be our guy. But I think we're going to, at the end of the year when we were like, who's going to start, it's Ty Floyd really stepped up at the end of the year as our true number 2, and that's really what we needed to win the national championship, right? But I think we're going to see a true 1, 2, 3, maybe a fourth with a midweek guy. Chase Shores is going to come back from an injury this year, and I think he's going to be a potential number 1 overall pick next year. So and then if Cam John, there's so many things. I'm just excited to see what Jay Johnson puts together because Jay's always got something up his sleeve and his favorite thing is come watch us play, right? So you're not really going to know until we get out there and see what happens. You saw how close he kept Paul Skeens to his chest last year. We had no idea who that guy was until we were like, oh shit, do we see this 6'6" guy throwing 100 on Fridays, like striking everybody out? So I'm excited to see who those guys are this year. And I know Jay's going to find ways to win. I don't think it's going to be as dominant as last year offensively. I think it'll be creative a little bit more. Gap to gap, stealing bases, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited.
That's my thing that I'm very interested to see is, look, the roster is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you got dudes.
Yeah.
But at what point do you have so many dudes that it's hard to decide who's going to play? All right, this guy's probably a better left fielder, but we need a lefty in the lineup. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so now he doesn't find the field. So I'm very interested to see how he works through that. And then to me, that doesn't have to be out of conference play, even early in conference play.
Yeah.
It was like the third or fourth series from the year last year. We were like, are we going to make it out of the regional?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think he's got time to figure that out. But that's something I'm really, really interested to see.
Me too. And I know, and David said it too in his article. I think him and I so agree on this. Paxton Kling, that guy, there is so much. I don't want to put pressure on him. So not that he's watching this or cares or he's going to see this, but that dude is going to be an important part. The center fielder of the team, right? He's the number one high school kid coming out of his year last year as a freshman, playing behind Dylan Cruz. Didn't get a lot of opportunities. When he did, he didn't do the best. So, I'm anxious to see how he bounces back. And if he's a guy that can bat 350 for us, hit 10 to 15 and hit 20 doubles and play great center field, I think we're in a really great position, because then you're semi-filling the Dylan Cruz. You're never going to fill Dylan Cruz, right? But you're giving a player that's like, all right, we got a dude there. And then if other guys can step up and have more depth, then I think we're in a good place. So I think it starts with Paxton Kling for me on the offensive side. So
yeah.
We'll see. I'm excited to see Thatcher Hurd too. Like that, because like he came out of the bullpen last year, made some starts, but like, I think he'll start opening day, just like they'll give him that nod as the guy that started the last game and all that stuff coming back. So I think I'm excited to see him as if he's going to be a Friday guy, or does he go back to the bullpen at some point?
Yeah.
Like that'll be interesting for me too.
And he was the guy last year that on this show, Jared Mitchell said he's the joker in the deck. You got two guys. Who's going to be that third guy to step up and propel you through Omaha? And that was awesome.
Yeah, that was right before regionals, right? Or
Yeah.
super regionals. Like Jared and I did that podcast. Yep, I remember that. Yep. All right, so I want to give a little love to my girl Mya Young and her brand Monet Wear. I don't know if she's over there. If she can hear me, she might have some Hopefully you have. Oh, you don't have headphones on. Damn, put your headphones on. But no, I want to give a little love. I'm about to post something. So when this podcast comes out, it'll probably already be posted. But she's doing some really great stuff with her brand overall called Monet Wear. It's a lifestyle designer, brand that's going to be a little bit more exclusive in 2024. She's got a really cool drop and announcement today on Friday. So I don't want to spoil it here, and I'll let you go to social media to check it out. So make sure you go on social media, check out Monet Wear, Mya Young. You guys can find it on my social media. I wear her stuff and post about it all the time. We have some stuff in the shop. But she's a student at LSU and she grinds all day at school, and she comes here and works the retail floor for us. She learns graphic design and she likes designing things on her own, and has developed a clothing brand on her own, and runs her own Shopify and does her own marketing, does photo shoots and all that stuff. So I always want to give some love and some roses and stuff for people doing good things in the world. And she comes from a great family and good people. I've gotten some time to get to know Mya, and so yeah, if you guys like streetwear and stuff like that, you guys are in the area in Perkins Row, so show some love to Mya. Come in and say hello. You don't have to buy some stuff. I would love if you do, to support Mya and the shop. But make sure you at least come check her out, check her stuff out, pay attention to what she's doing, and check out her stuff that she'll be dropping here in the next couple days and all of 2024. Let's see. What else we got on the thing, Joe? I think that's pretty much it. Where are we at on time? We probably wrap this thing up, huh? 20 minutes?
Yeah, we're at about 18 minutes.
Nice. All right. All right. Women's basketball. I know we had the live show last night, so again, I know I'm plugging all our stuff, but Valley Vision, we did it live. We had an awesome crowd in the chat. It was really fun. We did a shot with St. Rock Vodka, and Abby does a really great job of her post-game shows, and it was fun to sit there and cut up with you guys. We were bantering with some people in the chat, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, women's basketball, I know we talked about it a lot, but what's your thoughts, takes? Give me a 1 minute recap.
You need depth. You need more depth. You got
That's the takeaway.
Yeah, you got 7 guys. I will say that the bigger takeaway is I think LSU is really, really good. If there's
I think that's the
if there, and I know that is the consensus, but if there was doubts, like, can LSU repeat? I think they showed you that they can. Yep. Will they? I don't know.
Right.
But I think they absolutely showed you that they can with what they have. But to me, the limiting factor is you got a lack of depth.
Yeah.
And I think Aaliyah Del Rosario is going to be really, really good. Like, she's got Flage said in the presser after the game, she's got an all-American body. She's just got to fill it. Like, she's just got to fill it and play that way.
Yep.
I think she's going to be really, really good, but losing Angel in that game was rough. So we got to stay out of foul trouble, and we got to play defense on the perimeter. So
no, I think you said it perfect. I think as always, the LSU fans showed out. So I love, that's a great takeaway always, but I don't think there's been any need or shortage of that for Kim Mulkey and the Tigers, you know. But I think just the atmosphere and the progression that we're seeing with women's sports, and like you said, I think we were one of the most talented teams in the country. But when you're expecting these girls to play 38 to 40 minutes a game, that's tough. That's a lot on your body over time, right? And we saw them lose the game in the last 90 seconds last night. They were winning the entire game, and those are maybe mental factors, right? Free throws, little things like that. So yeah, the depth's going to be super important. But like you said, the talent's there. It's going to be exciting. We'll see what Mulkey does. I have a lot of faith in the Tigers, and I know the fans are going to show out in the postseason too and travel well, so that'll always be a good time. But the show that Kim Mulkey is producing is fun, and I love going all the time. So shout out Kim, shout out the Tigers. I know it was a tough L last night, but you guys are going to bounce back. Arkansas on Monday, I think we talked about, right? I think something like that.
Mississippi. It's at Mississippi State.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. But yeah, so I thought it was awesomely. Again, college game day coming on a Thursday at the PMAC for a women's basketball game.
And the whole crew.
Freaking electric. Yeah, exactly. Holly Rowe doing stuff with Kim. And there's just so much attention on LSU right now. They announced that Amazon Prime thing too today. Like, I knew that was in the works. I heard that a long time ago. But that's really cool that stuff's actually coming to fruition, because I had heard the rumblings about it and didn't know who it was going to be, if it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But LSU is a special place to be, so love making content like this and just talking about it. It'll be fun to look back 5, 10, 15 years from now and be like, damn, look at these players now, and we're talking about them being in our backyard as kids. So yeah, good stuff. Appreciate you, Joe. This is fun. Appreciate all you guys. If you guys enjoy the content, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, all that good stuff. We'll be back next week. So next Friday, make sure you check us out. I think there's going to be some really good episodes coming up, good things in the works. But in the meantime, check out St. Rock's Vodka. Check out Rejuvenate Medical if you guys need any hormone replacement. If you guys are looking for anything anti-aging, there's going to be some good announcements coming out in the first quarter of 2024 for Rejuvenate as well. So we couldn't do our podcasting without those guys. If you guys are going to games, make sure you check out SeatGeek. Use Ranaudo for $20 off your first purchase on the app. It helps support the podcast. So thank you guys again. We'll see you soon.